Hey guys, so I'm going to kind of talk to you about this next project that we're doing. I want you to understand what we're doing with the movie Inside Out. I wanted to kind of give you guys a break. It's been a stressful year, and I figured what would be a cool thing that we can do. And since we talked about color symbolism a little bit this year, I thought, hey, movie break would be great. But if you know me, you know that I'm the kind of person that wants to have some kind of purpose to it. If we're going to do a movie, we need to have something educational to go along with that movie as well. So what I was thinking to do with color symbolism is watch the movie Inside Out. And I put out a survey to find out if you had access to the movie Inside Out or not. Many of you said that you do have Disney Plus, which of course it's a Disney movie and it is on Disney Plus. That's how we're watching it in the classroom right now. And some of you guys say that you own the movie Inside Out, which is great too. We used to own the movie as well. We don't really do a lot of discs anymore, but we have Disney Plus. What I want you to do is I want you to watch the movie. Now, I asked you in an email if you said that you had access to the movie. I asked you which character you would prefer to focus on. So there were 5 main characters that they talked about in the movie, and that is joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. So those are the 5 that you had to choose from which one you wanted to focus on. Now the kids in class, not so lucky. I just passed out random ones to them. What I want you guys to do is I want you to either print off the worksheet that I send you. It's a 2-page worksheet on your character. And you can either print it off or you can have your laptop open while you're watching the movie on your TV if you want to do it that way. And then you can type in the information. But I want you taking notes. I know a lot of you guys have seen this movie before, and if you haven't, it's a fantastic movie. I was a little skeptic at first, but it turned out to be a really, really cool movie. I want you to watch the movie and really pay attention to your character while you're watching the movie. And that's what the worksheet is for, because I want you to take notes while you're watching it. So for instance, if you have sadness, we'll use sadness because sadness kind of goes through a lot of changes. If you have sadness, okay, sadness has a very specific role in the beginning of the movie, and then that role changes by the end of the movie. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you will know what I'm talking about by the end of the movie. What I need you to focus on is, first off, you guys should already know what blue, why blue represents sadness, because we did the color symbolism project already. And if not, a quick Google search will help you to learn about the color blue and why it makes you feel sad. So I want you to answer the questions that I've provided on there. So there's a section in there that talks about the character's visuals. So for instance, you have the body shape. So how does the shape of the character represent that emotion? So look at sadness's shape. Does sadness's shape help emphasize sadness, the idea of the emotion sadness? Look at her hair and her clothes. Do the way that she is dressed also show that emotion of sadness? How does it show that emotion of sadness? Look at her body language. And what I mean by that is how she holds herself, the way that she walks, the things that she does. Does she kind of droop down? Those are the kinds of things that you're looking for with the body language part of it. And the body language, every character on there has excellent body language. Disney did a great job with that. Look for those kinds of things in the movie and jot down reasons why you think those things kind of emphasize sadness and help push that emotion of sadness. Then I want you to look at what their role is in the beginning of the movie. So again, with sadness, you're looking at a very small role in the very beginning of the movie. They try to kind of quarantine her off to the side. And then by the end of the movie, how does that change? What kind of role does she now take on? Why is that important? And that really, we're looking at the psychology of it. We're looking at what emotions are important and why. And so it's not so much about the artistic side of it. It's more about the psychological side of it. But I'm very interested in you pushing that information out there on the worksheet as well. And then if you flip it over to the back side, now this is a little bit confusing for some people. It's really a simple idea, okay? So again, using sadness as an example, what I want you to do is I want you to watch the movie and look for evidence of that color symbolism, okay? So the first section talks about Riley. when Riley's feeling sad or going through something sad, is she wearing something blue at that moment? Does she have something blue in her hair? Is she wearing blue earrings? Are her eyes really blue and noticeable at that moment, more so than other moments? Do you see any glimpses of that? You know, maybe blue jewelry, anything on her that might be blue. Where do you see evidence of that? You can, for Joy, for instance, you can see that she has the yellow jacket, okay? And what does that really symbolize? Why the yellow jacket? You know, how does that relate to her feelings, and how does that relate to the idea of the movie? When you get to the next section, there's a part that talks about the parents. You know, okay, so looking at sadness again, are there times when she's sad or the parents are sad and the parents are wearing something blue, or there's something blue on the parents? Look at the house, and what I mean by the house is during a certain scene, are there blue walls? Are there blue carpet, blue furniture, blue curtains, blue pictures on the wall? Is there something referencing that blue when it's a sad moment? And you'd be surprised, they're throwing stuff like that in there. They've got all these kind of little, you know, Easter eggs in there about color symbolism. They do a fantastic job. A big, for instance, if you have disgust, okay, there's a scene in the movie where disgust is introduced, and little Riley is sitting in a high chair and she's being introduced to a new food. Well, what is the food? It's broccoli. Okay, so disgust comes in, and think about it. Broccoli's green. And if you look at that scene, the walls kind of have a green tint to them, and her bib is green. So there's lots of green going on in that scene when they're talking about disgust. So what does that do? That really emphasizes that moment of disgust. She's also wearing during that scene a red shirt. Okay, and so during that scene, she's disgusted by the broccoli, and disgust is taking over. But then Dad comes in and says, well, if you don't eat your broccoli, you don't get dessert. And then anger is like, what do you mean we don't get dessert? And then he flares up, but it's just for a moment. So if you look at that scene, green walls, green bib, green food, mostly about disgust, red shirt, and then she shows a little bit of anger. And so all of that is kind of hidden into the scene, and that's what you're looking for. When I talk about the dream world at the bottom of the back side of the page, that dream world is that world inside of her head. So it could be the islands, it could be the headquarters, it could be all of the memory storage, it can be the pit. Any of that stuff deals with the dream world, and that's what I'm talking about with color usage in the dream world and how that's used. So I want you to really analyze this movie and really pay attention to those things, and I want you to fill out that worksheet. Now, when you're done filling out that worksheet, which you're going to turn back into me, so I put in text boxes for you so that you could enter that text into it and then send it back to me. You're also going to create a poster. Now, we're doing posters in class based off of the character, and what you guys can do is if you want to draw a poster on paper, you can do that. You absolutely can. But you actually have a little bit more luxury if you want to use like Google Slides or Google Docs and create a digital one, and you can insert pictures and you can still present that same information. So I want you to come up with a creative way to present the information that you have learned about your character and the way that the Disney artist used color symbolism and visual elements such as shape and texture and all that into how they show that emotion in the movie, how they're using it to push those emotions in the movie. And you're going to create a poster that talks about that. And then you're going to send that to me. So this is going to count as a project grade. So it's not going to be a daily grade. It is going to be a project grade. I'm not going to grade them too hard, so don't fret, don't stress out. Really what I'm looking for is, do you have the information in there? Is it a neat looking presentation? And that's it. There's no audio presentation or anything. It's just going to be one slide or one page on Google Slides or Google Docs or something, whatever you want to use. If you have another computer program that you want to use, maybe you've got a drawing app or something and you want to draw out the idea like you're drawing out a poster, you can do that too. But make sure you have the information in there that I'm looking for. So you're looking for what colors did they use and why. So, you know, blues are known to invoke sadness. So, you know, blue is used for sadness, and then talk about all the elements with the sadness. I want you to talk about the body shape stuff. So I want you to talk about what is the shape of the character and what is the hair and the clothing and the body language. I want you to reference that somehow in your poster and how they were creative with that. I also want you to look at ways that they use that color symbolism. So the back of your page, push that information in there somehow. You know, Disney creates even more push of the emotions by using color in these ways. Here's some evidence from the movie. You know, find some kind of creative way to show me all of that stuff. Mainly, it's an excuse to get to watch a movie for a project, but we have to have some kind of educational tie, and I thought it was an excellent segue into talking about color symbolism in a fun way. You know, it's a really cool movie, but have fun with it, and I'm making these due when we get back. The kids have until Monday to finish their posters when we get back after Thanksgiving, and so I'll give you guys that time as well. You'll have until Monday after Thanksgiving to get this done, okay? Make sure that you're turning in all of your work, all your daily assignments and everything. If you have any questions, please email me. If you just type in my name into your email bar, it should pull up my name, and then you can ask me any kind of questions that you have. I'm pretty good about answering emails, but mainly have fun. And those of y'all that are gone for a short time, I can't wait to see you after Thanksgiving. And for the rest of you, hopefully I get to see you soon or meet you soon, because many of you I haven't met yet.